And I'll be trying to do justice to this topic of how do you give amazing presentations? That is number one. And how do you give amazing presentations when you do not have much of time? How do you create that in a very short span of time to being amazing? And the second part is how do you do that quickly? That is what we want to cover today. And that is why we'll be talking about over here. Now, you all know the thing about communication. You all know the thing about giving presentations. It's very, very important to understand that uh, communication is one of the primary skills which gives you success at your life and your career. Because if you even if you are the best person in the room, even if you have the best idea in the room, you are nothing without communicating that effectively. And in today's date, in the corporate world, if you look at it, or even in the business world, you have to go somewhere, you have to handle the mic, you have to give a public presentation. Then communication and how do you present, what ideas do you talk about, how do you do it, becomes very, very important. Now, what we'll be talking about over here is the first and the most important crucial step is that you have to focus on the person's problems. You have to focus on what is the burning issue in the lives of people. If you're talking about something which does not relate to your audience, then people will not be listening to you. So first thing first, you have to find out. So if you look at Jayashree's presentation today, she talked about something very, very essential for everybody, that they want to have better etiquettes and better manners so that they can grow in life. What Abhijit covered was very important, that people want to improve their brain functions. If you have that kind of a particular mentality, if you're just trying to help the learner, whoever your audience is, and focus on their problems, that is key number one. That is you have hit the first target right by doing this. So always focus on the people's problems and just create your presentations around it, right? That is key number one. Key number two is about using catchy headlines. So if you look at today's presentations, Abhijit's presentation, or any other particular person's presentation, what they have done is they have just improved their particular communication. They've just improved their message by igniting that curiosity inside of you. Just by looking at their posters, you wanted to listen to them. So that is also very important. You want more and more people to come to your presentations, listen to it, and that will not happen if you don't have catchy headlines. And there is an amazing way from which you can get your amazing headlines for free. And that particular website's name is www.titlegenerator.com. I generally go to this particular website, titlegenerator.com, and I put any particular topic. So suppose a topic that I want to create my presentation is how to give presentations. So what I'll do is I'll just put presentation secrets as a keyword over there, and that particular website will throw me multiple number of options. You know how many? Approximately 700 options it will show me. And out of that one particular combination I'll choose, or I'll make a combination of 2 to 3 of them, and I'll create a perfect headline which will be catchy enough, which will be just helping more and more people come to watch my presentation or to see the presentation. Now, the biggest mistake that most of the people do in any particular presentation is that they do not use their body language. We have been talking about it multiple number of times, 10 and 100 number of times I have told you. Communication, your words are only 7%, right? The rest is the tonality. Right now there is a tone at which I'm speaking. It's high, it's confident, it's fluid, it's fluent. So that is tonality. Then there is voice is 55%, and the rest is your body language. And most of the people do not understand this, but they are not speaking through their body language when they're giving a presentation online. And that ruins your communication by 55 to 93%. If your tonality is not good, right, and if your body language is not good, you do not create a very good impression, because your communication is not happening. You might be feeling you are delivering and only the words are reaching the other person. Imagine if I was speaking like a radio. How many of you over here watch, listen to a radio rather than compare that to YouTube? You watch YouTube because there is something you can see. The person is visible, and that creates a better communication. But rather, if you had the option of listening that on a radio, people would not be listening. So that, don't do this mistake if that is possible. If it's a confidence problem, you can definitely go ahead and do it for some time, practice it for some time before coming on the video part of it. But please start communicating. I told you, I loved the way Humayun, came on the stage, showed his face, and communicate it, because that adds to a lot of understanding. The better the audience will be able to understand better when you do this. Now the third one is, you have to ensure that you don't just talk about stats, because stats will make it dry. Statistics, only speaking statistics will not help you. You have to make features tangible. So if you look at the companies, if you look at the particular numbers, so many of the times we say that 100 crore people of India cannot speak in English, right? That is the number that we talk about. We talked about the concept. And when we're talking about these concepts, we try to make it visibly clear to you. So we show you a visual. Just stats will not help. Look at the mobile companies, how they do it. They don't talk about the camera alone, that it's a 102 megapixel camera. They will talk it in such a way that you will be able to take pictures of the moon sitting from your home. That is the power of the camera. So don't just talk about the statistics, make them tangible. It's also important to understand, many of the times we just take the stage and we try to share a PPT, but only sharing the PPT is not enough. You have to put in stories are very, very important, because they transform the learner. They take the learner on a different journey altogether. That is very, very important. And human beings love stories. Our brain is 90% visual. So do not have your presentation if you're not having 2 to 3 stories included already inside of that. Now, another important point is, always be speaking as little as possible in the presentation, because people do not have a lot of memory. Their brain is already full of a lot of information. So just give them the important pointers, 1, 2, and 3, and just move away from the presentation, because otherwise you will just be maybe killing their time, or they will not be loving you. So just have some key important messages in your particular presentation, and move away from the presentation. And this is a rule given by Steve Jobs. He said only three. Try to have three important elements which your audience will be taking home today. It's very important also to be having that energy inside of you. Communication is the transfer of energy. That maybe I'm having some energy inside of me, I'm just transferring that energy to you. So your presentation will not be good if you're not feeling energetic from inside. So have your food, have your water, and just be using these amazing words, these extraordinary words, awesome words, and cool words. When you use these words, it translates the energy, it transfers the energy from you to the listener, and then people will be acknowledging that message properly. It's also important that sometimes, in some of the cases, if possible, demonstrate. This is true for a physical kind of a presentation, but as much as possible, try to demonstrate things, because human beings, they learn more from their eyes than from their ears. So it's a very, very important concept. So just keep on learning and teaching people more from their eyes. Right now, it's very, very important, last but not the least, is the rehearsal part of it. Most of the people just come on the stage and they give their presentation for the first time. Then you'll be facing a lot of problems. Maybe you'll be having a lot of pauses. You'll not be giving able to give the best presentation. But the best of the best speakers across the world, they have rehearsed their presentations. They have rehearsed their messages multiple times over. They have rehearsed it so many times that it feels that it is kind of copied somewhere, or it is edited somewhere, but it feels so perfect. And all that perfection is reached by the number of rehearsals. If you have more number of rehearsals, that will be very, very important. Now, we have talked about the concept of delta for earlier also. So it's very, very important that when you're giving a presentation, your presentation should not be something which is already available on YouTube first page. Now imagine this. If I've come to a presentation and all of that information is available on the first page of YouTube, right? The first video of YouTube contains all that information. I will feel cheated in that case. I will feel that I am not being given what I was promised. So just try to have as much content, as fresh content, as new content, as much as possible. And that is what 4% is also about. We want to share content with you, which you will not get on the first page of Google, on the first page of YouTube. See, there is information overlaid already around you. People would not want to read the same content. Now imagine this. I'll just tell you something which will make it very clear to you. Just wanted the point to get settled in your brain. If I try and tell you the hare and tortoise story today, right? You have been hearing that particular story 1,000 times, the hare and tortoise story of the hare which lost the race to the tortoise. If I start telling that story today, you'll all feel bored because you have listened to that information so much time. The joke on which Bill Gates was laughing yesterday, you would have already laughed thanks to social media. People are already having a lot of knowledge. So don't bore them, don't waste their time by telling them something which they already know. A very, very important concept. And there comes the concept of Delta 4. 10 times better. Where do you find that kind of content? How do you do that content? Now, how do we make it 10 times better? Is not just by going to, you have to do research on that particular topic. Take some time, and research is not always taking a lot of time. You can do it in a very short way, you can do it in a very crisp way, you can do it in a very smart way, right? That's very, very important. So how you can do it, you can just visit some of the best websites. Now look at the algorithm of YouTube and Google. They all use their artificial intelligence to keep the best of the best content on the top. So if there is a keyword that you put on particular Google or YouTube, the particular website, Google or YouTube, will show you the best of the best content in the world. That is what they want to show you. So if you look at presentation, suppose I put a keyword presentation secrets on YouTube, this is the content which they're showing me. If you look at the views of these videos, for the first video, it has been viewed 2.4 million times, the second video 550K times, and the third one is 5 million times. YouTube is showing me the best particular videos across the internet. Take some time and go through all of these videos. It will take some time. Maybe it will take an hour's time, half an hour's time, but you can just, so the first video is approximately, if you look at it, 48 minutes, and then 7 minutes, and then maybe 24 minutes. That is how it is. So what you can do is, when you're researching this, not every particular content is important for you. You have to create the best content. Some of the content will be overlapping. Video number one contains some of the content which is already present in video number two. So delete all that content, but just go and research on 4 to 5 videos. Don't just put one video, copy it and paste it in your presentation. That is good if you are a beginner, but definitely if you want to create a better impression, try and find out information from best of the best resources and combine that knowledge. So video number one, video number two, video number three, even if you watch 3 videos, at MMDC we try to do at least 10 videos on that topic. We try and find out content from 10 of the top videos and 10 of the best websites of Google. That is what we try and find out. We try to find out all that content, and then we present that to you. So I think with the research part of it, if you're watching YouTube at 2x the speed, not the normal speed, it takes I cover approximately 1 hour of content in half an hour's time when I'm running the videos at 2x the speed. That is also possible, and for the smart learners, I think that will save a lot of your time. Second thing what I do is, I go to Google, I find out these websites and the best of the best topics. Once again, I read some of the articles, and again, reading will not take much time if you are comfortable doing research on Google. The third thing that you can add to your presentations, if you want to make it even better, is what you can go and read out some of the books on the topic. And don't just read the books. What you can do is, you can download some of the books and you can go and read the summaries of this book. If there is a book available on the topic of presentation secrets, you can go and read the summary of that particular book, or watch the summary of that particular book in YouTube. See, what we have done is, we are trying to make our presentation 10 times better. It will take some effort, it will take some time, right? Maybe 1 hour or 2 hours time, but what you're getting now is something which the audience is going to love. The audience will not feel that they have read it already somewhere. They will be getting some unique and fresh content. When you research like this, when particularly go ahead and find out the pearls, it's like the pearls in the sea. So pearls are hidden deep inside the sea. You have to go deep dive and get those pearls. And when you give that pearl to the audience, they are just going to love you for this particular thing. Now, the final and the most important concept which has to be kept in mind is the timing part of it. See, the average human being, the attention span is declining like a very, very crazy. So what was 12 seconds of attention span is now become 8 seconds. People don't want to listen to lengthy content. If you're not putting interesting elements into it, people don't want to listen. So the best particular method, the best particular content should not be more than 6 to 8 minutes. If you are giving your best content in 6 to 8 minutes time, you'll always have the audience supporting you. But if you're speaking for 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 90 minutes, then definitely audience will switch off. They will not be paying attention to your words. So just keep it short and simple. And the golden rule is 9 minutes. 9 minutes is a golden rule. As per research on YouTube, they have found out that all those videos which are 9 minutes long are gaining currency very, very fast. Okay. And you should always be there to give them some kind of knowledge, and not be there to take something. When the audience understands that you are there to take something from them, they're not going to pay attention to you. So always be in the mode of giving them as much information, giving them as much knowledge as is possible, and showing them that you have researched well on that particular topic. When you're doing that, you'll be getting amazing response from the audience. Last but not the least, this is the bonus tip I wanted to give all of you with. Life is getting really easy, and thank God, I think we have artificial intelligence in the form of Chat GPT. Here are some screenshots of what is possible through Chat GPT, the artificial intelligence website now, and the software which is available on mobiles also. So this is what I did. If you want to get some clarity on any particular topic, you want to give any particular presentation on any particular topic, what Chat GPT can do, what artificial intelligence can do is, you just have to write the question, like how lifelong learning can transform your lives. I tried this today, and this is the result that I got. I put this query on Chat GPT, and they started giving me 7 amazing points. I did not have to go to Google, I did not have to go to YouTube. If I have a little bit of basic information on this topic, Chat GPT will give me preloaded content which I can just go and maybe read out in a particular presentation. If I'm absolutely short on time, this is the lifesaver. It can save your lives. If you don't have enough amount of time, this can save your life. So what I did, I just went and put this keyword over there, how lifelong learning can transform your lives, and Chat GPT gave me 7 points. Now, what my job then becomes is, and what I also did is, if I want to add a fun element to it, like many, I told you, you have to give examples. So only giving that particular topic will not help. What is also important is, apart from the sub points, you also give some examples and some your life stories, or somebody else's life success stories over there. When you give that, your presentation becomes awesome, because stories are the way human beings connect a lot. So I asked Chat GPT another question. After it gave me 7 options, 7 sub points on the topic of learning and self-learning, I asked Chat GPT the second question: give me some examples of the above sub points. And then Chat GPT gave me some another points over here which are in front of you. So it gave me another 7 points of examples. I will not be using all of them in my presentation, but even if I use 2 to 3 of these examples, what is going to happen, my audience will be able to relate to those examples, right? And that will be making my life very, very easy. And thanks to Chat GPT, I think presentations can happen in just 15-minute time. It's not even 1 hour. 1 hour is when you go and research on YouTube, you research on Google, and then you create the presentation. But with Chat GPT kind of a feature, artificial kind of a feature, life is becoming very, very easy for all of us. So that's all from today. Your job will be, at the end of Chat GPT, at the end of everything, your job will be to just put those subtitles, those subtopics below, and add a picture from Google, and the content is already there with you from the Chat GPT software. When you create presentations like this, people are just going to love you, and people are just going to go crazy about the entire presentation. That's all from my side. Thank you so much. Yes, Saurabh, over to you.
Thanks for calling me. I was able to give you the feedback on this. Amazing to hear your perspectives and